topic we have going on today is medication retrieval. So, first things first, a huge warning to this is do not let them fetch just the pill bottle, because if it were to get open, the dog could ingest the medication. That can be deadly. Most human medications do not translate to dogs, and even if they do, it's a much lower dose for them than it is for us. So we have this cheap little purse that I think I've had forever now, and you would put the pill bottle inside of something that can hold it. It doesn't have to be a purse, it can be anything, as long as the medication bottle is covered by something that they can pick up safely without the medication getting in their mouth, because we don't want our dogs to die because we wanted them to go get our medication and we needed them to go get it. So you can get something like this. This is actually a little long for her, so I'd recommend something that they could carry without tripping over. For medication retrieval, basically it's the same tips I gave you in the retrieval video, so if you want to go back to that for reference, you're basically doing the same thing. But with this, usually you want to put the medication bag in the same spot in the home so that they know where they're going. So like, this is not inside of my home, but if it were, I could put it right here and then she'd know it's always right there and that's where she needs to go get it. So the first thing you're going to do is teach them where the bag is. So, Mesky, come here. And then I don't know that she would pick this up because she just started taking things for me that aren't toys. You're also going to use the take it techniques that I use in the retrieval video. So again, just go back to that video and reference that. A lot of that is going to be the same here. I don't want to go back over it and bore everyone. So you would teach them what this is. So you come up, meds, whatever command you want to use. So I would say meds. So meds, good girl, meds. So first you want to teach them what that is. So to her, it would be meds. And then you would start teaching them to grab meds. So you would start with take it. So you would say take it, grab meds. Good job, good grab meds, and then have them drop it. So that's where you would start, and then you would start telling them go get meds from a short distance at first. So you could start like the med bag's there. So we could start from here and be like, Mazikeen, go grab meds. And then she would do it because we took those first steps. She has not learned this yet, so she doesn't know what I'm asking of her. But that's what you would do, is you would start with associating the bag with meds, and then you would say, take it. And then you could start doing retrievals with it. If you wanted to, get the dog more enticed in grabbing it. So go get it. Playing around with the bag, just to get them used to grabbing that bag. Because different textures can put certain dogs off. Like if your dog refuses to put their mouth around it, as I stated in the retrieval video, food scents work great. So even if you rub a little bit of bacon grease on that, whatever's going to really entice your dog, even ham juice, you can put it in there and it'll bring that smell out, so it'll make them more enticed to grab it. After that, it's just the challenge of getting them to bring it back and not just sit there and try to eat it, because we don't want them to do that. So you just have to watch the dog closely and don't set that in a place where they could get it if it still has a food smell on it. Wash it down thoroughly, that kind of thing. Once you start getting to the point where your dog's going to get it when you throw it, they'll go and pick it up. That's when you can start going from further back. As always, we do this very, very slow, because if we just ask them to do it right away, right after learning this, they'll start having issues and they're going to fail. We want them to succeed. We want to set them up for success. We don't want to set them up for failure, where that could kind of push them back and not really put them in a place that they want to be in. So yeah, that's when you could start going back further, and then you could start doing it from different rooms and see if they understand. If not, you can always go back to, you're still within the room, but you're right in that doorway, whatever. Then you can start, you just want to make sure it's at their pace. If they're not getting it from one step, go back to another step. It's perfectly normal. Sometimes you have to take a step back, and that's fine. They'll get it eventually if your dog is a dog that likes to retrieve. If not, this may not always be a task a dog can do. I say this for a lot of these, but that's just because a lot of these require a specific type of personality or a specific type of behavior that the dog enjoys doing. So for certain things, certain dogs aren't going to want to do it, or certain dogs can't do it. If your dog does not like to retrieve, it's not going to want to go retrieve a bag. That's why Labradors and Goldens and things like that are recommended so often, because they like to retrieve. That's what they were bred to do. Not every lab is that way. My lab, for example, does not really like to retrieve. He quit playing fetch probably around 4 or 5 years old. And even at that time, he would only go for like 3 rounds and he was over it. So he was never much a retriever. So even in those breeds that were bred for it, they might not always be up to it. So the key thing is will my dog do it? Not every dog's gonna do it, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes you just have to adjust it. Sometimes you may always have to keep that food smell on it to kind of entice them more. Because my lab, if there's a food smell on it, he will go for it. But if there's not, he's not interested. He's not interested in toys and things like that. And it has to be a pretty authentic food smell for him to actually try to go for it. So, I think I went over everything that I want to go over. We'll go over everything really quick, just so that you really know what I'm saying. So first, medication always in a bag. Something that the dog cannot open the pill bottle and then eat the pills possibly, or it falls in their mouth. They didn't mean to eat it, but it still gets ingested. So we want to make sure it's in a safe carrying case that they can use without endangering their life. Put it in one specific place every single time so they understand where they need to go get that bag from. It's a lot easier if it's always in the same place, or even in the same general place. That way they know what they're looking for and they know where they're looking for it, because in these kind of cases, they need to be able to get it really fast. If you can't get it yourself, usually that means the dog has to be able to get it as soon as possible so you can get the medication in. So putting it in the same place is going to make that retrieval a lot easier and a lot faster. You can start associating it with fun things. Take it, good job, good job. Go get it, retrievals. After that step is over, you can start standing back a little bit, right about here where she's sitting exactly would be fine, and be like, go get it, good job, good job. We're making everything very positive, everything very fun. Then you can start moving back further. You can start standing back there. You could start standing in another room. But you have to do this at a slow process, because it is a slow process. Not everything's going to be super quick. Sit is easy. They learn that fast. But retrieval and retrieving a specific bag, this is an important task, and they have to get the right bag. And it's a long, drawn-out process because they have to learn what they need to do exactly. So they need to learn, they need to go get it and bring it back to you. No matter what room you're in or what place you're in, they have to go get it from that exact spot. It's just a lot easier if you keep it in one spot. I definitely recommend it. Don't switch that up. If you have to use food smells, use food smells. There's nothing wrong in that. You could really go back and reference the retrieval and leave it video. There's also take it, carry, that kind of thing in there. So that's going to be easy too. That gives you more of the basics to accomplishing retrievals and picking things up. This is specifically on medication retrieval, making it safe and making sure that they would be able to do it and making it smart. Retrievals and leave it and that kind of thing. If you don't know how to do that at all, go back to that video. I definitely recommend doing that. Or there's other videos on YouTube if you don't really feel like watching mine, that's fine. I think I went over everything. I think I went fast, but I'm hyped up on sugar and caffeine. That's fun. Anyways, I think I got everything. If I left out anything, let me know in the comments. Questions, comments, concerns, go in the comments. Anything else that you may want to say, go in the comments. As always, we love you.